Good afternoon. This is Keith Drondyke, Planner 3 with the Planning and Building Department, calling the March 12th, 2025 Archaeological Commission meeting to order at 2 p.m. Before we begin the meeting, we want to acknowledge with respect the indigenous peoples of whose ancestral lands we hold this Archaeological Commission meeting and whose historical relationships with that land continue to this day. Item 1 is roll call. Planning and Building is present. Commissioner Dick?
Here.
Commissioner Cole?
Present.
And Commissioner Johnson.
Present.
And the applications listed below will be reviewed by the Archaeological Commission. You were invited to view the meeting on YouTube and provide any information pertinent to these applications. If you have photographs of the site, you are encouraged to email them to the above email address by 2 p.m. on March 12, 2025. Item number 3 is survey required. First one is 3A, CDP, conditional or coastal development permit 2024-0043. Owner applicant is California Department of Transportation in the North Region. The request is a geotechnical investigation at 2 locations on State Route 1 at post mile 4.64, Fish Rock Gulch at Sunset Drive, and 58.78, 1 mile south of Fort Bragg at Tregoning Drive. The purpose of the investigation is to assess subsurface conditions for foundation design for 2 bridges that will be constructed to replace culverts that are blocking fish passage on these streams. The location is there's 1, Fish Rock Gulch on Highway 1 at post mile 4.64 at the Anchor Bay Campground at Highway 1 and Sunset Drive, and number 2, the creek on Highway 1 at post mile 58.78 near the Mendocino Botanical Gardens immediately north of Tregoning Drive. The staff planner is Mark Kleiser. Is you available, Mark?
I am here to answer any questions, yes.
Are there any persons wishing to comment on this project? Raise your hand if you are. Seeing none. Looks like the applicant has done somewhat of a survey and they didn't find any artifacts, and I'll bring it back to the commission to do some discussion. Anybody have any comments, questions?
Who did the survey?
I think it was Caltrans. One of their representatives, a Kim Tanksley, Associate Environmental Planner and Archaeologist, is what it says.
And did it in November, December?
Dated January 30th, 2025.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know when they actually did the survey.
I thought there was a village site in Fish Rock Gulch.
Didn't say that they found anything. What page is it?
What does Northwest Information Center say?
The project was not referred to, I'm sorry, Mark Kleiser, project planner on this project. We did not refer to Northwest as the applicant did have this archaeological memo that they submitted with the project. So we decided to bring this directly to the commission.
Oh, okay. Well, it's gotta go to Northwest.
One second.
It said it was a record search was conducted using the Caltrans Cultural Resource Database, and this was augmented by a record search conducted at the Northwest Information Center in March of 2023, and to identify previously recorded sites and studies. And they also looked at the National Register and all the different California landmarks and inventories, and identified no previously recorded sites within a half-mile radius, and 31 previous cultural resource studies that overlap partially with the APE. I guess that's the area we're looking at. Yeah.
Area, yeah.
Potential effect. And that covers Fish Rock?
Said in addition, in May 2024, Alta Archaeological Consulting completed a survey of State Route 1
Right of way.
right away through Mendocino County, including portions of the current project area.
Yeah.
So,
I think it should also be noted that they reached out to the tribes, and the three of them said they had no other interest in consulting, and Valerie Stanley said she had no concerns regarding the two locations, but did ask to be contacted if cultural resources were encountered.
Okay, well, it sounds
yeah, the survey says they did pedestrian survey utilized transects ranging between 5 and 10 meters in width at each of the two project locations.
well, thank you so much. I'm still not able to access that stuff. I'm gonna have to come in the office and talk to Jocelyn. Or do I have it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want, Bill, I could also try emailing them to you. It's just if they're too large, they'll have to be cut up into pieces.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna plan on coming in on Thursday, the 20th.
Okay.
So I feel like it's been investigated and that they should follow through with the tribal monitoring if and the discovery clause if anything showed up.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So I have tribal monitoring there while they're.
If something's found.
Oh,
I don't think it's I don't think it was that they had to be there during the work.
No, according to the wording, it says if they're encountered during the construction, then they would want to be contacted.
Yeah.
And then the tribal monitor for ground disturbance if things were identified.
And add discovery clause?
Yeah, I think that should just be like a boilerplate.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion to not require a survey, but if something's found, to require a tribal monitor and add discovery clause.
Yeah.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
And I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Affirmative.
Commissioner Dick?
Yes.
And staff says yes, so carries 4-0. Moving along, it's, case number CDPM 20-24 or 2024-0008. Owner applicant Donald Buchanan, agent Megan Durbin. Request is a standard coastal development permit modification of CDP 2023-0028 to demolish dilapidated structures, including a garage and a chicken coop. The location is in the coastal zone, 0.2 plus minus miles, I'm not sure which direction, I guess south of Elktown Center, 0.4 miles plus minus miles northwest of the intersection of State Route 1 and Philo Greenwood Road, located at 5800 South Highway 1, Elk, California. Parcel number 127-181-01. Staff planner Shelby Miller, who is absent.
Mark will be filling in.
And Mark Kleiser will be the planner. And are there any persons in the chat or whatever you want to call it that want to comment on this? If there are, raise your hand. We've got Megan Durbin. Go ahead, Megan.
Hello, Keith. Hello, staff and commissioners. Thank you so much for your time today. Megan Durbin from Wind Coastal Planning and Biology, agent for the applicant. So this CDP modification, there was an earlier CDP for septic repair that was approved in December of 2023. Because this property is a bluff top location, we are required to obtain a coastal development permit to demolish the existing sheds that are beginning to fall off the bluff. They have been there for quite some time, but now they are posing a hazard. There's a tree laying down on one, leaning onto one of them, and they are posing a hazard. So we are going through the process to get a coastal development permit, and the Northwest Information Center did issue a letter recommending a survey. Our hope is that because this is a simple demolition, and because based on comments from California Department of Fish and Wildlife, we will need to do the demolition by hand. There won't be heavy machinery. There won't be ground disturbance. It will just be, human power, taking apart the sheds that are falling down and carrying them or wheelbarrowing them over to a dumpster, construction dumpster of some sort, or trailer that will be parked in the driveway. We are hopeful that the applicant will not have to go to the extra expense and time of obtaining an archaeological survey, so that these structures that are a hazard can be removed as quickly as possible. And that's just, my introductory, setting the stage, providing context for the project and what we are here to discuss today.
So they're sheds, they're not houses, or were they houses?
Yeah, they were a very old garage or carriage house, and a chicken coop. I apologize. I am accustomed to the processes in the coastal permit administrator hearings where we can sometimes share screen. And so I didn't catch that I should have sent a picture over to PBS commissions before the hearing started. I did do so just after that. I don't know if Jocelyn has access to that and can share it for the commissioners. This photo was in the referral packet, and it's from a geotechnical investigation that the neighbor had done, and it very well illustrates the condition of these structures.
It'd be nice to see those.
Bill, I think you should be able to see them if I put them in front of the camera.
Thank you.
I don't know. I can't see from this screen if he can see them or not.
Yeah, raise it up a little bit more.
Yeah, right there. You can see where the green.
So that's the garage, and then you'll see foliage to the left in that picture, and the chicken coop is under that foliage, and the chicken.
The main,
Let me change a picture.
You can see it. You can see it now.
Oh, Mark,
here we go. Oh, okay.
What?
so you can see the ground. It's not sitting on any kind of a shell mound. The ground looks pretty blank. I'm going to switch it to another one.
Mark, do you have the attachments you can maybe put on share screen?
I don't think I'm able to share screen, but I did just want to share that this is a modification for CDP 2023-0028, which was approved. That project did have comments from Northwest Information Center. Their letters were taken to ARC, and no survey was required, and at that project at that time.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go with that.
Yeah, my feeling is that because they're not going to really disturb the ground, and it doesn't look like it's sitting on any kind of a shell mound or anything, that they could have a discovery clause.
And it doesn't look like it's kind of a, standard Victorian architecture, so I think we're okay.
Okay. So we'll skip the survey?
Can I get a motion to?
Skip the archaeological survey, but have a discovery clause in case
Yeah,
they
Oh,
scrape something up?
yeah,
So-
we should always do that.
Motion to not require a survey but add the discovery clause, made by Commissioner Johnson. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote. Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes,
Commissioner Dick,
Yes.
And planning staff, yes. So no survey. Oh, did you get all that, Megan?
I sure did. Thank you very much, staff and commissioners. I appreciate all of your time. Have a great day.
Is there anything, you said it was a carriage storage shack?
Yeah, that was the original use. The property owner has, the property has been in his family for quite some time. So, it does date back, fairly old, but it is just built right on the dirt. There's no foundation or anything.
How close is it to the cliff?
I actually can share now the photo that I was pulling up. Hold on, and that will be a really good. Just give me 2 seconds, and I will get to
You should have asked these questions before we voted, but thank
That's okay. I think this will show very well illustrate. Here's the bluff. If you can see my cursor, this
Yeah.
is the chicken coop already falling down, and that is the backside of that structure that Commissioner Johnson, I think that's the right name, was holding up for everyone to see.
Okay. Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Feel better now.
Okay, good.
All righty, well, that, we'll call that one concluded. And-
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to review of surveys. We have 4A, which is CDP 2023-0030, owner applicant Johans and Ann Lower-Eason. Administrative coastal development permit to remove the existing single-family residence and replace with the new single-family residence and connect to existing utilities. The location is in the coastal zone within the heart of Westport Town Center, 450 plus minus feet east of the intersection of Abalone Street, County Road 428D, and State Route 1, on the southeast corner of the intersection of Abalone Street and Hillcrest Terrace, County Road 428F, located at 24851 Abalone Street, Westport, parcel number 013-300-39. Staff planner is Jesse Waldman. And are there anyone present that want to speak on this matter? Raise your hand. Seeing none, I'll bring it back and see if Jesse Waldman has anything to say.
Sorry, I didn't raise my hand. Jesse Waldman, planner for Mendocino County Planning and Building Services. We are bringing this project back to the Archaeological Commission. We were originally here in July of 2024, where it was recommended that a survey be provided based on the comments. The Archaeological Commission hearing in July recommended a survey be conducted after the building is removed. The project is proposing to demolish the existing structure and then to rebuild a new single-family residence on the parcel. The project was referred out to the Northwest Information Center, where they recommended a CEQA qualified survey of historical findings be done on the parcel, and that has been completed, and that's where this brings this to you guys today. In July, when we were here before, we did do a little bit of share screen where I showed you the street view of the structure that is existing on site. And I do have maps and resources available, and there is now a survey in front of you. Thank you.
So is the building, did an architectural historian look at it, and is he okay with them tearing it down?
What the report says is that it is does not appear to qualify as a historical resource because it is in ruins. and consists of a very modest vernacular structure. But they said that there's a strong potential that when the building is removed, that there could be something underneath it that could be important. I'm assuming they mean like a privy or something that,
Yeah,
Garbage pit or whatever.
yeah, garbage pit. So they don't recommend it for, the structure itself, but there is a strong potential that an eligible deposit or feature may be buried or concealed below the ruined structure. So they recommend that a qualified professional with expertise in historical archaeology should be retained to monitor building demolition as a condition of any discretionary permit. And that the archaeologist should have the authority to halt the demolition and any associated grading if an eligible resource is discovered. And it would probably consist of a discrete pit feature or a stratified archaeological deposit. They didn't find any Native American debris at all.
okay. So,
It's the same thing.
yeah,
I
and
had.
that sounds like it's covered, so, we approve it with the recommendations.
Okay, I agree.
So have monitoring during demolition and, obviously if something's found, then they'll have to stop, but also add the,
I'm assuming that this
discovery clause.
is the building?
yeah. And, Jesse, you have, more comments?
I just want to clarify that based on comments from Sherwood Valley Band of Pomo Indians, that a tribal monitor is requested to be on site during excavation. And so for clarification, would the commission be directing for another survey upon removal of the building, or just the monitor on site during removal of the building? So are you requesting a further study after the building is removed, or just the monitor during removal of the structure?
This depends if
Okay,
you find
so-
anything.
Well, the tribal representative is not really interested in the historical part. They're interested in any tribal resources that
Right.
might appear. And the report specifically requests that somebody who's skilled at the historic
Yeah,
archaeology be present and can stop,
Stop them from,
yeah. So this is, it's a
Valerie
really,
has her hand raised.
it's quarter of an acre, so it's not a big plot.
so.
go ahead, Valerie.
Okay, I just wanted to add because I hadn't seen that report. Valerie Stanley, Tipo, Sherwood Valley. Yeah, you are correct. We are not interested in the historical. From what I'm hearing is we're okay that no cultural monitor be there. Just again, note that we're one of the MLDs of the area.
Yeah, I think that the archaeologist with a historical background, he will, once they he's supposed to be there for them tearing down the building, and he'll figure out whether or not there's a privy pit or not. And if at that point he finds pre-contact stuff, then we recommend that he call Valerie for monitors when they start the new building. Yeah, I think that's it.
You want to let them see this picture?
Go ahead, Valerie.
Oh, I still have my hand up? Yeah, I'm good with that. Sorry, let me put my
Oh,
hand
okay, all right.
up.
Jesse?
Get off there.
I'm sorry to request for the clarification. So we have the Sherwood Valley Band of Pomo Indians requesting a tribal monitor be present for their intents and purposes during excavation. And then and then I'm also hearing that the commissioners are recommending that the historical surveyor of the structure be present and make determination, and that an additional follow-up survey after the building is removed is not required.
No, No, I think, I don't think Valerie wanted a cultural resources monitor there. We were just considering a historical building type monitor to,
He would notify the tribe if prehistoric
yeah.
material
Okay.
showed up.
Okay, thank
Exactly.
you.
Do you want to see a picture of the house, Bill?
Sure.
There's a photo. I don't know.
I also have a share screen. I could bring it up.
Okay, yeah, I
Okay,
wanna
that's
do
better.
that, Jesse.
Yeah, it's not very Victorian or anything. It just looks like a box.
It's a shed, dilapidated.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a classic Victorian in any way. It's just a box. So, yeah, so, once the archaeologist figures out there's no privy pit there that they would be interested in excavating. But then if there is a privy pit there and they are going to excavate the privy pit, the tribal monitor could be there for that or leave it up to the archaeologist. We recommend that the archaeologists contact Valerie if they run into pre-contact deposit.
So, let's see. So, historical monitor present during demolition, and if they find anything
Pre-contact.
pre-contact, then they contact Valerie with the Pomo band. And if not, then just document the historical find and add the discovery clause.
Yeah.
So consider that a motion. Do I get a second?
Second.
And roll call, Commissioner Dick,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Affirmative?
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
And staff votes yes.
Thank you, commissioners and staff, very much for the clarification.
Welcome.
Okay, moving along, we've got MS 2024-0003, which is applicant owner Kenneth and Don Lorenzi, applicant Philip Delahoyd, agent Laco Associates. This is a minor subdivision of an existing 33.72 acre parcel into 2 lots and 1 remainder parcel. Lot 1 would be 10.10 acres, lot 2 would be 5.03 acres, and the remainder parcel would be 17.99 acres. No physical development is proposed. The location is 2.5 plus minus miles southeast of Capella on the east side of East Side Calpella Road, County Road 227.65 plus minus miles north of its intersection with Lake Mendocino Drive, County Road 227B, located at 3991 East Side Calpella Road, Ukiah, parcel number 168-190-05. Staff planner Liam Crowley. And is there anyone in attendance who wants to comment on this? Raise your hand. Seeing no one, I'll bring it back and see if Liam has anything to offer.
Hi everyone, this is Liam. Just want to summarize this. The survey was done by Alta, and they did about, like Keith said, the property is about 33 acres. They dug about 100 shovel pits, and no resources were found. And they recommend essentially the equivalent of the discovery clause in their report. Otherwise, I'm available for any questions. Thanks.
So,
I didn't read about the shovel pits. I just read that they inspected exposed soil.
Here, I think
Does it actually say that they put in?
yeah, I've got it
shovel
here.
pits.
I can pull here under field methods there, towards the end of that paragraph.
Visibility was poor.
And there should be a map on one of the other pages there that shows where they
Oh, okay. I
drilled.
see it now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
comments.
I missed it before.
No worries.
Yeah.
So am I right in the fact that this is not part of the coastal commission, that this is it for archaeology, basically?
Yeah,
People can develop these 3 parcels now and they don't have to do any further
correct.
survey or anything.
Unless they ended up developing something that would require a use
Another-
permit.
Yeah,
But if they're just gonna build residences and things like that, then it
this
would
is this is
require.
the only bite we get.
And a discovery clause really doesn't carry through, right? Because it's not a specific project. I mean, it's just a lot line adjustment, so.
Again, it's just a minor subdivision, so we don't really, we can put conditions on the parcel map.
But it could be 30 years before
Yeah,
anybody does anything.
Yeah, usually what happens, I think, is when they record that map, they
yeah,
put a note on it that says if any if any archaeological resources are found,
right.
that, who to contact.
We should put the discovery clause on it, so.
Okay,
Yeah, on the parcel map.
Okay, then that's what we have to do.
Oh, Kevin. Go ahead, Kevin. I forgot to ask.
Oh, that's okay. Good afternoon. Yeah, I just wanted to state that we will place the required notes on the parcel map. They will be enforceable and they'll be on the agency notification pages. So say the property were to change hands, any buyer, for example, or anybody building a house would see that note and they would know that that was basically a condition of building anything.
Thank you.
All righty. Any other comments? Commissioner Dick?
It's a nice area.
Yeah.
It's about 100 feet above the Russian River and between the valley that used to be
Oh, the
Lake
is.
Mendocino.
Yeah,
I don't know
where
what
the
that
lake
valley
is.
was called, but it's a nice location.
So make a motion to approve the survey and place a discovery clause, or make a condition to place a discovery clause on the conditions of approval for the parcel map. Do I have a second?
Second,
And roll call vote, Commissioner Dick,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
affirmative.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
and staff, yes, 4-0. Okay, oh, Liam?
That's all.
Okay. Moving to our last item. It is use permit 2024-0004. Owner Rosenberg Kathleen, Marie Rosenberg. Applicant Selco Partnership. Matt Moore is the agent. This is a use permit to construct a new 65-foot tall cellular antenna tower with a monopine type design and 4 antenna sectors with 3 antennas per sector. The facility will be placed within a 40 by 40 foot lease area and surrounded by a 6-foot tall chain link fence with barbed wire at the top and brown privacy slats. The ground equipment itself will consist of 1 pad mounted transformer, 2 equipment cabinets, and a new 30 kilowatt standby emergency generator with a 210 gallon fuel tank. The location is 2.91 plus minus miles northwest of Willits, lying on the north side of Timberline Road, which is a private road, 0.45 plus minus miles west of its intersection with Sherwood Road, located at 28401 Timberline Road, Willits, parcel number 037-700-14, and I am the staff planner. Is there anybody else that needs to speak about this item? I see Matt Moore is on. Do you have any comments on Matt?
Hello, Keith. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Matthew Moore. I am the project applicant and agent for this project. I don't have any comments, only for this board. I would say that an archaeological survey report was submitted and a recommendation or a recommended finding of no historic properties was recommended here. But I'm more than happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Yeah, my notes said no artifacts found, so we'll let the commission.
Who did the survey?
It's a company called IBI or FBI? EBI.
From where?
I think Bay Area, maybe?
They're from Chicago, aren't they? At least that's what I saw for the
They're a national company. They run most of these types of studies for us.
Yeah, it says Burlington, Massachusetts.
And then there's hand raised.
Who?
Chris.
Oh, go ahead, Chris, you have a comment?
Hi there. Yeah, I'm Chris Grant, archaeologist with EBI Consulting, and I conducted the survey.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
What did Northwest Information Center have to say?
They wanted to, office has no record of any previous cultural resource survey.
the
Or
site nearby,
proposed.
I think they said.
A field study by qualified archaeologists is recommended prior to commencement of project activities.
Okay. All right,
And
cool.
so that's what they did, they had the survey completed.
Okay. Thank you.
So were any actual pits dug, or was the property just walked? Because when I was reading it, it didn't sound like there was any actual dirt excavation.
Mineral soil observation.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, it was just a pedestrian survey.
Did you do mineral soil observations?
No.
Why not?
That's not standard for
Of course it's standard.
survey. Oh,
You look at mineral soil. If you can't see mineral soil, you're not doing a survey.
I wasn't aware that that was something we did.
You're an archaeologist?
Yes.
Oops, not local.
So you can walk over thick duff and not see any mineral soil and say that you surveyed it?
Sorry, I might not understand exactly what is being asked here.
Basically, what we expect is when you do a survey, lots of times that they will take a shovel and dig, a foot into the ground, and they'll do that throughout the entire parcel to look out. It's not like just one spot in the parcel. There's multiple pits dug across the whole parcel.
Oh, you're asking about shovel testing?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that we conduct a pedestrian survey and we conduct shovel testing if it's requested.
I think we need to request it then, because walking over it doesn't really give you a sense of what could be underneath.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry if that wasn't clear in the report, but we don't indicate that we did any shovel testing there at all.
Yeah, and the shovel testing is not really absolutely necessary, but what is necessary is a very good description of the soil, mineral soil observations. And that's why so many people do shovel scrapes, or at least they indicate how they have cleared surface debris to see native soil.
I understand.
That way you can tell if there's fire crack rock, or if it's a shelved, and it's not on the top of a mountain, but on the top of a mountain, and you can see chert flakes, but if you don't see mineral soil because you're walking across duff or grass or whatever, then you're not really doing a survey unless you can see mineral soil at least every 10 meters or 5 meters or 15 meters, depending on the circumstances. So if you say that you didn't observe mineral soil, then you didn't do a survey.
So I think what we need to do is have this go back for a survey to have shovel survey redone.
Well, it sounds like it, talking to this archaeologist. I mean, I'm kind of shocked that you don't have a response to my question about mineral soil. I mean, what are you surveying if you can't see mineral soil?
Well, we surveyed for looking for surface finds.
Okay, so was the whole place covered with grass?
Mostly.
Okay, so what did you do about that in terms of viewing mineral soil?
Well, there's areas where the utility, so part of the APED, the area where the tower compound will be constructed, is actually situated on a developed parcel and is situated underneath a auxiliary building that was constructed sometime in the late 20th century. The soils are visible there, and they're visible in the sort of northern part of the utility route, where they go down along the residential parcel, and the entirety of the land in that area has been completely washed out and eroded, like well below the A horizon. And that was the case in all of the parts of the lower part of the utility route when there was soil visible.
But there's going to be significant ground disturbance for this project, right?
In the area where the tower will be constructed, which is currently underneath basically a shed, like a lean-to. The rest
Aren't
of
you
the
making an access road too? Wasn't that part of the
there's
report?
an access, there's a utility easement that runs sort of perpendicular or parallel, sorry, to the tree line, to the vegetation line across the property down from the residential plot to let's see, east to the not private road. Is it Sherwin Road? Sherwood Road, yeah.
I don't know. I still think we need ground disturbance surveyed.
Well,
a shovel pit, something.
It's a 10-foot wide. Sorry, it's a 10-foot wide utility easement.
And just to add on to kind of what Chris is talking about, there's an existing road gravel path off of Sherwood Road. We are going to be adding a 70-foot access easement off of that, which will also be graveled, but it does lead to an already developed portion of the parcel, and we're removing a structure in order to place the wireless facility there. So it's not like, I wouldn't call it a significant amount of ground disturbance. It's already a developed portion of the parcel. We're not clearing out a new lease area or digging out a new, roadway or anything like that.
How long have you been doing archaeological surveys?
In California, like this type, like 4 years.
Have you recorded sites before?
No.
Do you feel that you've adequately seen mineral soil, native soil?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've conducted a fair amount of shovel testing. Most of my work in California has been pedestrian survey, which does not typically entail actually digging into, below ground surface.
But it does entail seeing mineral soil, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna just leave it up to the commission with how they feel about it. I mean,
I think since it's my project, I won't be able to vote, so I'll just.
Well, the notes that I have are that it was recorded that it was unfavorable in environment. It was a steep slope, not close to water, and that there was a site nearby, but where the site was a much gentler terrain, and they didn't find anything. I did have. There was one phrase that got my attention about, I think the idea was that there might be like scattered artifacts, like from hunting or something like that. I can't remember the term that got used. Let's see.
wait, you're saying they found artifacts?
No.
Nearby.
I think she means like there's the possibility that they might find, scattered artifacts.
Let's see. The site nearby is a pre-contact site with the general lithic scattered, and I think that's not on the property, it's nearby. And the terrain where the project is going is 15% slope and is not considered sensitive for significant cultural resources. I think maybe it was the word significant that got my attention. I'm trying to find the report. The sensitivity for pre-contact resources is low, is basically how it was determined.
Well, I mean, that helps. If there's a site, if there's a site nearby, that means that was the location that people were using.
Says the boundaries of the site that they recorded are well defined and located on topography with gentle contours. And what this property is steep and it's just would not have been appealing for long-term use or settlement, as terrain in excess of 15% slope is generally not considered sensitive. So
2 miles south of the site.
I guess that's the general idea, was that I don't know about observing the ground surface, but I think it was the idea that it was probably just too steep.
Yeah, well, at least we know that how close to the project is that lithic scatter?
0.2 miles. I believe.
0.2 miles?
Yeah. Pre-contact site is located approximately 0.2 miles south of the proposed access and utility easement, so not necessarily the tower site.
Yeah. Well,
How big is this?
Parcel?
I mean, it's mainly roads, I guess, so it's kind of hard to decide how.
Yeah, I don't have that.
There's a 40 by 40 lease area. Is that all this is? It's 40 feet by 40 feet?
That's the ground disturbance. No, not that's
and
the,
an existing
the fenced
70-foot
area.
wide road and utility easement will run. So I'm not quite sure how big this place is.
16.
Total area? Oh, okay, 0.42 acres is supposed to be the total area of ground to be disturbed.
Will require 5,600 square feet or 520 square meters of ground disturbance. So I think that's where I was like really wondering about the shovel testing and stuff.
can we see a topo map of it?
22-acre parcel.
Yeah.
Used to be able to put a map up on the wall there at the county, so you could see the.
But
We can't do that anymore?
This one.
Yeah, here on the back.
I was gonna say, this one's like a 15-minute, I don't think it tells you too much. So I just put it up to the camera?
Yeah, the project file should have the.
Go this
This
way.
computer's not attached to it.
Okay. There you go.
Can't we see it like we used to be able to see it there in the office? You had a big screen and you would bring the map up right there in the room on the screen, so we could see, if it was on a ridge or where it was, or.
Yeah, just a second, Bill.
Okay.
2024 0004.
Let's see
Just
if
go to attachments.
Maps.
Or maps, or, and then.
Most of this is not gonna be
Topo.
disturbed, I don't think.
13.
Chris, do you feel confident
There it is,
about
Bill.
your road survey?
I do, yeah. I mean, even if we were asked to go back for shovel testing, for subsurface testing, that would only be possible, in certain portions of the property. The northern part of the utility easement, the area where the tower area, the lease area would be constructed, and the sort of access and utility easement are all on developed land. So it's partially gravel paved. It's under, a shed. The only area where we would be able to really put any sort of shovel test in is along the very narrow utility easement that leads to Sherwood Road. And that's along the very steep cliff that has quite a bit of disturbance and erosion along it. So not all of the APD is even a potential area for shovel testing.
Can you bring
So
up the,
you were able to observe ground in areas that didn't have grass and stuff?
Yeah, there's areas along that utility easement that have, that are pitted. I made notes about this in the survey description, that are pitted. There's a very obvious erosion taking place along the cliffside, but then all the areas on the residential, parcel, the part of the parcel that's developed for residential purposes, there's paved areas. There's the structure that's located where the tower will be constructed, and then there's the sort of yard.
Yeah. Especially since, without
Well,
your
I mean, I
report
think
in front of you, you're guessing.
I'm okay with the survey if Valerie's okay, and
Well, how about the discovery clause just being really forcibly enforced?
good luck on that one. But anyway, I mean,
We can try and see if it'll work.
Chris has said that he feels confident that he didn't miss anything, and I would go ahead and approve it as long as our TIPO, as long as Valerie is okay with it.
Valerie, you have comments?
Where'd she go?
I'll go with what you guys say because the reports that you're looking at, we don't get. But I just want to remind you guys historically that although it may look like it's too steep and doesn't fit the archaeological idea of where our people lived, as more and more contact was happening, our people got really good at hiding. So sometimes a very steep slope could be a possible place where they lived.
Yeah, and
Just
generally,
a reminder.
I mean, when we do surveys, 15-degree slope is just as sensitive as flat. So in my experience in California, 15 degrees is nothing. When you get 25 or more, then yeah, mostly, but not always.
So I will agree with what the Art Commission says. I believe our letter in as the MLD of the area is on file.
So let's, Lindsay and
Nancy?
hey, Lindsay and
Okay.
What happened to our other commissioner?
I'm willing to accept it with the idea of the discovery clause.
Okay, yeah, me too. Okay, let's get on with it.
I'll make a motion, or I guess I can't make a motion. I need somebody else to, because this is my project.
Motion that we accept the survey with the discovery clause.
I'll second.
Okay. And roll call vote, Commissioner Cole,
Affirmative.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yeah.
Commissioner Dick.
Yes.
So 3-0.
And then Chris, the next time you do survey, make sure you write thoroughly about observation of native soil. That is observation of mineral soil. That means that you've actually looked below the vegetation. Because if you're just walking over vegetation, you're not going to see a sign of anything.
No, yeah, thank you. I appreciate your comments and your feedback. I think I was a little confused because I thought you were asking if I had shovel tested, and I definitely did not. And so I wanted to make it clear that that had not happened.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is mineral soil observation.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Okay, so moving on, it's item number 5, matters from staff. I have no matters. Are there matters from the commission for item 6?
Yeah, I want to bring this up, especially with Valerie there. Are you still there, Valerie?
Yes, she is.
Okay. I had asked the commission to try and get a hold of the Great Redwood Trail Corporation people or whatever it is. But since then, I have talked to people that know the owner of the railroad right-of-way, and he has no intention of selling his right-of-way. So the trail's not going to happen until the owner of the railroad right-of-way gives permission, and he has from personal conversations that I've had with people that know him and have talked to him, he has no intent on selling his right-of-way to the railroad. So I just thought, I've been wanting to call you, Valerie, and tell you that. I guess I'll just leave it at that. And I'll call you sometime in the near future.
Okay, that sounds good. Just a quick update. So I'm trying to catch up with Julia, as was recommended at the last meeting. I just haven't caught up with her yet, so we can talk about what's happening. Sherwood Valley Band of Pomo Indians has gone on record that we are opposed to the railroad because of all the sites that it already is running through. So where we are is because it's still gonna happen. We heard they can reroute, so we're trying to look at that to reroute. It's still evolving. I know from Mendocino County, Sherwood Valley, and Cotto are against the rail.
Right. Okay, well, I'll call you. I'll get the owner's name so you guys can actually talk to him.
Okay. Item number 7, are there any members of the public at the Willits Library location who wish to speak?
No, there's no one here at the museum.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cobolo Library? No.
Nobody here, just me.
So item number 8 is adjournment. Making a motion to adjourn the meeting at 2:57. Roll call. Second. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that leaves the meeting. We'll see
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
See you in April.
Thanks. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, Liam.
Thanks for running the meeting with Jocelyn.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.